Alright folks, we have come to the end of this Star Wars journey. The finale, the final episode of the Book of Boba Fett has premiered on Disney+, so now I shall talk about it with all the spoilers, so yes, that is once again a spoiler warning. If you have not watched all of the Book of Boba Fett yet, probably should steer clear of this video, unless you don't care. You have been warned. And I gotta say, this finale, this show pulled through for me. I know I've been having mixed reactions throughout the entire season. Some things I liked, some things I didn't like. It was teetering, so there was a lot riding on this finale for me. And you know what? I really dug this finale. This show is a good show. So first of all, in this finale, it's revealed that the Tusken Raiders that Boba Fett was hanging out with, yeah, they weren't really killed by those Nikto speed bikers. Those speed bikers were actually framed by the Pikes. The Pikes were the ones who killed the Tuskens. So now we actually have a personal reason to hate the Pikes. They're not just doing crime and flowing spice and that's why they need to be stopped. No, now they're the ones that killed Boba Fett's family, his tribe of Tusken Raiders, that he bonded with for quite a few years. So yeah, they need to die. Pretty early on in this episode, we actually have the return of Grogu to Tatooine, so yeah, like I predicted, Grogu went with the chainmail. He gave up the path of the Jedi, cause he just had to see his old Mando buddy again. And I know I said I would have preferred him to go with the lightsaber, but honestly I can't say I'm disappointed by this, because like people are saying, Grogu and the Mandalorian, they're a pair. They work so well together that I'm happy to see them together again, but we'll get to that. Cause yeah, this finale does in fact come back to Boba Fett, you know, the title character of the show, and the dealings on Tatooine, the war that's happening in this finale. All those people that he had in that council a few episodes back, the ones who said they would remain neutral, yeah, that was a bunch of bantha shit. Cause they all turn on Boba Fett. The Aqualish, the Klatooinians, they start ganging up on the punks who are set up here, the Wookiee who's set up over here, the Gamorrean guards. They die. They fall off the cliff and you're like, oh, okay, Boba's losing allies. I like the scene where the Major Domo guy, who I never liked in this show, I always found him super annoying, but he steps out to negotiate on behalf of Boba Fett, not even knowing the words he's about to read. And he's like, we will offer nothing. Oh shit, did I just say that? He starts fearing for his life. You see the Pikes starting to pull guns on him. He's like, his words, not mine. That was funny. And then this erupts in an all-out shootout. Boba Fett and Din Djarin come down and start shooting at the Pikes, and here we get our big war action scene start. They're taking hits because they're wearing Beskar armor so they can take hits. And then the people of Freetown come rolling in the Weequay, and they're like, we're here to help. Cobb Vanth? Yeah, he'll be fine. And so everyone comes back to fight. The punks, the Wookiee, Black Chrysanthemum. I didn't forget his name. And so we're like, all right, we're driving the Pikes away. Only for those two huge, like, droidicas. Like, you remember those destroyers, those droidicas from the Phantom Menace? Yeah, these two things are like those on steroids. Because they have those two big turrets, and then they have the shields. I was like, wow, the droidica's certainly got an upgrade. It's like Droideka meets Terminator 2. And those shields are really hard to get through. Boba Fett launches his rocket. It doesn't do anything. I was like, we're in trouble.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Boba Fett's like, stay here, I'm gonna go get some reinforcements. And at that point, I was like, where are you going? Like, who do we have left? Yeah, I forgot about that. I'll get to it. But then we have the cutest reunion scene ever. Pelimoto comes in and Din Djarin goes with her. And she's like, hey Mando, guess who's here? And dude, oh my god. The way Grogu just jumped right into Din Djarin's arms, I was like, aww, they're reunited and it feels so good. That was so cute. I almost wanted him to take off his helmet there, but that would have been asking for too much. But yeah, it's great to see the two of them back together again, because a year ago, I wouldn't have predicted that. And so when Boba Fett comes back, he's on the back of his giant Rancor. I was like, holy shit, this thing is awesome too. I mean, it's jumping on buildings like freaking King Kong. Seriously, was anyone else reminded of King Kong, or is it just me? This thing is a monster, just roaring and eating Pikes for breakfast, smashing through those droid shields. So the first droid is taken out by teamwork. The Rancor smashing through the shield. Then Din Djarin comes in with a Darksaber, starts slashing it up. And then finally Grogu uses the Force to take a piece from it and it stumbles and then the Rancor just Gah! Yeah, that was awesome. There's a part of me that wished that the aspect ratio would have expanded, like the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 2 with the Crate Dragon. Because, I mean, we have a big beast here. Let's watch this in IMAX aspect ratio. But not here. Oh well, maybe next time. And then the Rancor destroys the other droid, just rips it apart, and I was like, I love this shit. But then Cad Bane comes into play. He just comes strolling in with his spurs. Dude, this guy's a badass. You want proof of that? Just watch his scenes in the animated shows. Cad Bane uses his flamethrower, he knocks Boba Fett off the Rancor, thus setting the Rancor loose for us to deal with later. But for now, we have this final showdown between Boba Fett and Cad Bane. Dude, this is actually kind of epic. Because these two characters have a history that is expanded on on in the animated shows. Because also Cad Bane has a history with Fennec Shand. We saw that in the Bad Batch. Yeah, all that extended lore, once again, I'm glad I watched those animated shows. And so it's all been leading down to this. Cad Bane reveals that it was actually the Pikes who killed the Tusken Raiders. And then draw! Cad Bane shoots first because he's the badass. And it does look like, Cad Bane's got Boba Fett down. But nope, Boba Fett pulls a fast one on him. He uses the gaffy stick and he stabs Cad Bane through the heart. I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh my god. Folks, this is the death of Cad Bane, I'm pretty sure. I've heard some people say, yeah, he could come back. It is sci-fi after all. But for now, I'm pretty sure Cad Bane is down for the count, folks. And I love the sweet detail that it was the gaffy stick that did the killing. The Tusken weapon. This is vengeance, people. I love that. And so, okay, for now anyway, this is the death of Cad Bane. I am fine with this story decision. Because, I mean, seeing him in live action was a real treat. I felt really privileged to see it. You want to see more Cad Bane? He's in the animated shows. Go watch them because they're really good. And you know, all these characters gotta die sometime. In the grand scale of the Star Wars mythos, the timeline, there's still plenty of space to fill out Cad Bane's story, maybe in Bad Batch Season 2. But right here, at the end of the Book of Boba Fett, this is where Cad Bane dies. And I'm cool with it. Stabbed through the heart by Boba Fett. Cool. But we're not out of the woods yet. We still got a rampaging Rancor to deal with. I like how Din Djarin's like, stay here, kid, I'll deal with it. And then he gets his balls kicked in. And it's almost like Grogu was like, you don't know what you're doing, Pops. I got this. And so Grogu calms down the Rancor with the Force, which I thought was pretty cool. That scene was pulled off pretty well, I thought, with the cinematography and the music. Well done. And so now that the rumpus is all said and done, we still got those cowardly Pikes to deal with, but it's okay. Fennec Shand just goes in there and wipes them all out, no problem. Hangs the mayor by his neck until you hear it just snap. I was like, ooh, that's brutal. And then she just stabs that one head Pike in the back. And it's done. Done deal. Alright, well, fair enough. I'm glad this problem has been thoroughly dealt with. And so, that is it. The conflict is resolved, the Pikes have been taken care of. And now, at least for the time being, there is peace on Tatooine. Victory! I like the scene where Boba Fett's going through the village and people are bowing to him. They're like, yeah, alright, they respect him now as the new daimyo, the new boss. And I'm pretty sure he's going to keep to his word and rule with respect. I like that. I don't know if we're gonna get like a continuation. I don't know if we're gonna get like another season of the Book of Boba Fett, but I kinda wanna see the peaceful days. Boba Fett's got his crew, Fennec Shand, Black Chrysanthemum, the punks, and now they're all just hanging out on Tatooine. Meanwhile, Din Djarin and Grogu are headed off on their next adventure in their souped-up Naboo starfighter. See you guys in Mando Season 3. Roll credits. Actually, there is a small mid-credits scene. It's funny, we cut to the bacta tank and we see someone in there. At first, I didn't recognize who that was. I recognized the cyborg dude who did the cybernetics on Fennec Shand, but as for the guy in the bacta tank, I was like, who is this random guy? And then I started talking about this with my friend, and my friend was like, dude, that's Timothy Oliphant. I was like, oh, yeah, Cobb Vanth. I knew he would live. I mean, earlier we heard Boba say the bacta tank's being used. And so here we see it being used by Cobb Vanth. He's recovering from his arm shot from Cad Bane. Cool, alright. He'll make a full recovery. But does this mean we're gonna see him again in another season of Boba Fett? Or Mando Season 3? I don't know. But in conclusion, the Book of Boba Fett, yeah, it started off as a mixed bag, for me anyway, and really it kept that going throughout the entire season. Like I said, there were things I liked and things I didn't like. When it steered off course and became The Mandalorian Season 2.5, I was like, this is really good story material, but it's weird that we're getting this in the Book of Boba Fett because it's like out of place or something. And honestly, I still have kind of mixed thoughts about that. But this finale brought it all home, because we forget that these shows, The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, the upcoming Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, these are all telling a larger story that will lead to a culmination event. All these shows are going to tie together, so it does make sense in a way that all these characters would weave in and out of these different shows. When I look at it like that, I'm okay with it. Star Wars fans are eating this year. I mean, we just got our first poster for Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is coming out on my birthday, the first episode, May 25th. It's going to be the best birthday present ever. Plus, this year we also have the Bad Batch Season 2 coming, Andor, and The Mandalorian Season 3. The Force is certainly with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, titled Chapter 7, In the Name of Honor. Have you watched it yet? What do you think about it, and what are your thoughts on this season of the Book of Boba Fett as a whole? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!